to.
Okay.
That if there isn't an ability to discipline your kids, that at the end of the day, it leads to a lot of problems later on. But that discipline can never ever reach the level of violence. It can never reach the level of harm. Because in Islam, we have a principle, la darara wa la dirar. There is not allowed to be any kind of harm or reciprocal harm in Islam.
Okay, you mentioned actually in your answer there that if it gets to this stage of discipline and it's still not working, what's next? We come to the process of divorce. And that's another question I have for you actually. Why is it so much easier for a man to divorce a woman in Islam rather than the other way around? If a wife wants to divorce her husband, she has to go through a huge process, court proceedings, whereas a man wants to divorce his wife, just says talaq 3 times. Khalas, it's done.
There are so many things wrong with that. How are we going to have to go back and break this question down bit by bit? I think first of all, it is not easy for a man to divorce his wife. That's the first thing. That's actually a talaq, which is talaqun sunni, a talaq according to the sunnah, is not easy at all.
What do you mean by that?
So there is a talaq which is according to the sunnah, and there is a talaq which is talaqun bid'i, which is an innovated divorce. The divorce according to the sunnah has 2 primary conditions. The first thing is that the lady, she's not menstruating at the time. And that's just a mercy to her. Because, for example, at that time, they're not intimate. At that time, perhaps emotionally, she's up and down. She has bad days. And it's not fair for her husband to take what's happening at that time and then maybe just get upset with her and divorce her. He's not allowed to divorce her at that time. And the scholars differ, is the divorce happen or not? And many of them said the correct opinion is that it doesn't happen. And if he divorces her at that time, the talaq is not even counted. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it should be in a period where they haven't been intimate. So for example, an average couple, let's just say that if there is still intimacy in the marriage, that man is going to have to wait a minimum, usually, of a month before he can even utter the word divorce. Before he can even utter the word divorce. As for the woman, she can go to the qadi anytime, by the way. She can go any time of the month, any time of the week, one time she can go straight away. As for the man, no, he's going to typically have to wait several weeks before he can utter the word divorce. By the way, he only utters the word divorce once.
Okay.
It's talaq 3 times. And this is also from talaq bid'i, innovated talaq. So he has to wait. He has to wait, first of all, that they have not been intimate. Her menses come. She now finishes her menses. They haven't been intimate. Now he can issue the divorce. That gives him time to reflect. When he issues the divorce, does she actually become divorced? No. What happens is now there is 3 menstrual periods, typically, in most situations. Some exceptions if they've only just been married, different things. But just to simplify, in most situations, 3 menstrual periods he has to spend on her. He has to live with her. He has to provide for her. He has to treat her as his wife. Now, that's typically 3 months. It might be more than 3 months for some women. All that time he has to wait. At the end of that time, which we've now got to somewhere in the region of 4 months, depending on the situation, could be 3.5 months, could be between him first intending to divorce her and actually the divorce actually taking place. The difference is that he doesn't need external confirmation for his divorce. Okay. He doesn't need the qadi to okay the divorce for him. He can make the decision by himself.